Hi, my name is Kean Kramer and welcome to Waratah League TV, brought to you by Molten. A lot of unexpected losses in round 4 means that this season we still don't know how it's going to unfold. Championship men, take it away. Bankstown hosted Manly in the middle of the table clash. A win was vital for both teams as they looked to push themselves closer to the top 4. The Bruins looked far too strong at home, with Nick Pozoglu having arguably his best game of the season to date. He played every minute of the match, getting a mind-blowing 24 points and 22 rebounds. Hornsby was a team on a mission as they had the trouble of playing a doubleheader. First up, they took on the Sutherland Sharks away, and didn't they own the floor? Joshua Chapman was the man leading the charge as he got himself a handy stat line of 21 points and 8 rebounds. The second match was against the Sydney Comets at home, and that went down a treat. Both teams went bucket for bucket until Hornsby had the last laugh, gifting the Comets their first loss of the season. Very rarely this season have we seen Maitland come away with big margin victories, and the game against the Hills was no different. The only thing that remains the same is when Tyler Munro was on the court, you can guarantee that he will be in double figures for points and rebounds. Newcastle travelled to the city of Sydney to take on the Sydney Comets, and let's just say it was a long drive back to the Hunter as they lost by 40 points, 94 to 54. The Comets Stadium is becoming a bit of a fortress for the Sydney team. The Hills Hornets tried to make up for their loss in Maitland with a win over Norths away. It came down to the last 0.4 seconds for Hills to close out the victory. Newcastle's disappointing weekend went from bad to worse when the Illawarra Hawks beat them on their home floor 77 to 64. Week 2 in the Championship Women, Manly looked very sharp in their weekend of basketball, defeating both Bankstown and Sutherland away. Casey Samuels was the only player scoring in double figures for Bankstown, but at 24 points and 9 rebounds wasn't enough to beat the Seagulls, who behind Rebecca Duke's 19 points put the game to rest. The Brick Pit played host to Hornsby's huge matchup against the Sydney Comets, and with both teams coming off convincing victories last week, this game was always going to be a mouth-watering occasion. Olivia Sheehan chimed in with a nifty 17 points, 8 from 12 from field goal range. The Hunters felt like they needed to step up this week, and after last week's nail-biting loss to the Comets, this week was no different, except this time they were the team on the winning end. It was once again the Cherub alum show as she put on a clinic on her way to 19 points. Norse may not have played last week, but all eyes are on new recruit Brie Delaney as she took the floor in her new colours. Skipper Jamie Kennedy showed why she has been put in charge as the captain of this Norse team, scoring 15 points and working hard on the boards on her way to 8 rebounds. 4 rounds into the Molten Waratah League for the Division 1 men, and there are currently 4 teams undefeated within the competition. Shoalhaven and Tamworth are currently neck and neck at the top of the table after the Tigers defeated the Wagga Heat. While the Thunderbolts put the Saints to the sword, Matthew Pebble for the Heat and Alexander Brown for the Tigers putting on a show for their respective sides. The Bruins put a halt to Manly's solid start to the season, with Brett Foster taking the flight out of the Eagles, while the Spiders were able to bounce back after last week, downing the Hunters at home. In remaining matches, it seemed like playing at home played a major factor this weekend, with Canberra, Dubbo, Lithgow, the Crusaders and Sutherland were able to pick up the weekend double. Lacing up for the Division 1 women, in the only match for the weekend, the Shoalhaven Tigers were able to get over the line in a nail-biting finish. Pulling up to the line for the Division 1 Youth League men, the Blacktown Storm were able to notch up their second win of the season, defeating Sutherland at home. Lachlan Hutchinson was getting it done for the Sharks despite the loss, with 24 points, 3 from outside the arc. The Norths Bears were able to grind out a win against the Hills Hornets at the Bear Cave. 8 plays in total hitting double digits, with Jaden Prakash outscoring Liam Moss. In remaining matches, Bankstown and Manly put on a show, with Adam Fawcett leveling up with Jaden Tenefsky, but Fawcett getting on top with 4 4 threes, while Penrith were also able to pick up a win. Moving the ball to the Division 1 Youth League Women, the Central Coast Crusaders are the team to beat, the side currently undefeated, with the Bruins unable to put a stop to the side. Alessandra Gasparotto putting in the work with 21 points, closely followed by teammate Lossalini Katia on 19. Although the Crusaders better watch their throne, with the Manly Sea Eagles hot on their tail, the side picking the weekend double and seeing the side also be undefeated. The Illawarra's road trip saw them defeat the Hunters in another close match. Things for Newcastle didn't get much better, also going down to the Razorbacks, with Hornsby and Hills picking up the weekend double. And finally, the Division 2 Youth League men, the Newcastle Hunters are reigning supreme, with the side thumping Hills on the road. Jacob Doricott and Jonah Armstrong putting in a killer performance with 47 points. The Sydney Comets have once again notched up a tight win at home, with Hamish McGregor and Jared Fernandez silencing sharpshooter Matt Gray, while the Saints, Illawarra, Manly, Mossvale and Camden Valley all picking up wins to round out the weekend. Thanks to our good friends at Molten, we're going to find out who starred for their team this week. From the Championship men, Nick Pozoglu; from the Youth League men, Lachlan Hutchinson; and from the Championship women, Olivia Sheen. In Youth League women, Alessandra Gasparotto. And congratulations to last week's winners, Matt Gray from the Bathurst Gold Miners and Zoe Burke from the Hills Hornets. Just remember, ballers, there are no games this weekend, but we will be looking forward to having your company after round 6.